Mrs. Hales here with another art lesson. Today we're going to be looking at pollinators, so insects that pollinate our plants and our flowers. And we're going to be drawing them up close, so macro. If you've done the oil pastel animal eyes lesson, that was also like a macro or up close project. If you're in the owl school and you're at home, you'll do that project soon. You just haven't done it yet. So this is a 3-day project. Today we're going to be drawing the whatever pollinator insect you decide to draw and your plant or flower up close. And then the next 2 classes after that, we're going to be coloring those in. Supplies you're going to need for this project include a white piece of drawing paper cut to be 12 by 12 inches. If you have like a 10 by 10 inch or a 9.5, anything square is fine, over 8.5 by 8.5 inches. Mine is 12 by 12 inch. You'll need a pencil, an eraser, and then for the next 2 classes, you'll need colored pencils, but for this class, you don't need your colored pencils. You probably need a pencil sharpener too, if you have one. Remember, pollination can only occur when a bird, animal, or insect carries pollen from the male anther or part of a flower to the female part, the stigma, of another flower of the same species. And then seeds can be fertilized and produced so the plant can reproduce, so the flower can reproduce. So if we don't have pollination happen, we will not have new plants and trees and flowers regenerating or growing. I chose this butterfly as the inspiration for my illustration. Remember, we want everything to be blown up, enlarged, really, really close up. I put my flower, kind of a daisy flower, going off the edge of my paper. So you can just see some of the petals and some of the center of my flower. I'm drawing lightly in pencil, and then I'm going to enlarge the center of my flower so that this part of the flower head, has visual interest and almost a textural look as well. Now it's time to put my insect on here, and I decided to do that blue butterfly that I showed you earlier. And I found it really helpful when I was doing this to draw one side. So I drew the center of him, and then I drew one side, like the top wing, and then I drew the top wing on the other side. And then I drew the bottom wing on one side and then drew the bottom wing on the other side. I erased where my flower was underneath so I could concentrate on the designs and patterns on my butterfly. Don't forget their eyes and their little antlers. Look at the exterior or outside edge of their wings to try to get them to look like, whichever insect you decide to draw. Now, I have a bunch of pictures for you of flower centers and leaf textures and also different kinds of insects. So don't worry, you don't have to go out and find your own. I'm going to put up my pictures at the end of my video for you to pause and look at to draw. So again, I'm going to draw the patterns that I see on one side of his wing, and then go over and draw that pattern in exactly the same place before I forget what shape it was and how close it was to the other shape, how far away it was, how big it is, what the shape of the line is. Because remember, when you're drawing from life, you want to draw what you're actually seeing, not what's in your head. Drew an outline around kind of where the blue ends and the black is for the butterfly. And then I also didn't draw every single white polka dot, but I just drew the illusion of some of those smaller blue dots and white dots on the edges of his wings. Something else that was cool that I observed on my butterfly while I was drawing it is the black lines on the bottom wings seem to be a little bit thinner than the black lines on the top wings that separate those blue shapes. So I tried to capture that as well. Okay, 5th graders, be thoughtful about how you arrange or organize your composition. So what part of the flower are you going to have showing in your picture? Remember, it has to be really blown up. I don't want to see the whole flower or leaf. I just want to see part of it. And then what part of your insect are you going to put on that flower or leaf? You don't have to show the whole insect even. Like if you're doing a dragonfly, you can have part of his wings or part of one of his wings going off the page. Because these are supposed to be really up close macro pictures. So be thoughtful and smart about your arranging your compositions, make them interesting. Don't put everything in one corner, and have fun. I'll see you next class. We're going to start adding color next class.